Welcome back to the channel. This video, I'm going to do what I did the other day and start with some puzzles, and then we will work into a puzzle battle. Hopefully I'll be a little bit warmed up. One of the things I've noticed is when I play on my Mac, the screen's a lot bigger. I've been playing for probably 5 or 6 years now, most of which has been on my phone. Tiny screen. And I just tend to see the board. I've noticed like getting very close, needing to back up a little bit to actually see the board. So that is something I need to work on, is just overall board vision. Something that's completely different is when you play over the board. You could potentially have poor board vision because you're used to seeing it on either a cell phone device or some sort of computer or maybe some sort of handheld. In any event, I'm going to jump into some of these puzzles. Remember, the progression that we do every single time is checks, captures, attack. Can we check the king? Can we produce a checkmate, force checkmate? And if not, can we capture a piece? And is that good for our material outcome? And if not, can we attack a piece, put it in danger? We also need to factor in, as we're doing these puzzles, what is the opponent trying to do? So are we at risk? If we fail to make progress in the next move, or potentially a couple of moves, are we at risk for losing material and or losing the game? In these first several, and I'm still only at 1,000 in this account for puzzles, we're really looking for the checkmates in 1 and 2. First thing I see is my queen and my bishop are staring down this pawn. In this situation, this is a forced checkmate. We should look for the obvious first because we are kind of in that early development of these puzzles. I like that they included, I'm actually going to move a couple of my photos here. Bear with me. I want to make sure you guys can see what I see on the screen. There we go. So I kind of like the feedback that we get here of, I let this one run for a bit. So my target time was 6 seconds. I got this one in 4 minutes and 22 seconds. This one had a pass rate of 78%. I would have thought that it's much more, but I think these are the beginners that are just learning the game. So going to the next puzzle, checks, captures, attacks. What are my checks? Well, could take here. Doesn't seem like that would be a good idea. I could go there. And what happens if I do that? That means that the king would have to come here. Then I have this move here. And at that point, the king is on this square. And he's in check. He can't move to this square. He can't move to this square. He can't move back to where he was. So that leaves one legal move. And in that case, can I bring the queen perhaps here? Is this about winning this rook? That's my initial thought. Let's see. Okay. That was the right move. I do want to analyze this a bit. So I turn on the analysis engine. He moved here. I take. He takes. I take. So this is a force mate in 2. Whoops. D7. And then the progression would have been that. He moves there. That's checkmate. Okay. So had I examined it a little bit further. Hope I would have gotten there, but this is the whole reason of doing puzzles, to understand the sequence of moves that you're forcing to. I had the right idea, but I didn't have the whole concept down of where I'm going after that position is resolved. Okay, let's keep going. I gotta do this one again. Okay, what's the next one? This one's very simple. I did that one very quickly, so I'm going to start over. The first thing that you do, and this is a very common chess puzzle, is I'm putting the king in check. What does this do? It forces him to this retreated position. If I do a very forcing move in putting him in check, he has no other move beside recapturing or capturing, which I can recapture with checkmate. Okay. I have a strong feeling this is going to be a sacrifice where I'm moving this knight, putting the king in check. Curious what he's going to do. He might take, in which I would put him in check, and that would be checkmate. Yeah. I think the better move, let me see what that first move was as part of this puzzle, is to push the pawn. Now if I do this, let me see what the actual best move is. Best move is to take, no kidding. Oh, it's a force move, because he cannot move the king. Okay, so that's kind of a null and void. So show one more time. Okay, this looks like I'm in a lot of danger, so I need to move quickly. What are my checks? First thing I'm noticing is this pawn supports this g3 square, at which point king has to move, and then I can deliver a check here. I think that's going to be good enough. Let's see what exactly we're doing. Okay. Next one. First thing I'm noticing, I can put him in check. He's not able to block. He comes here. I move up to deliver checkmate. Okay. First thing I'm noticing here, well, a couple things. My queen is under attack. I'm noticing his knight is hanging here. I'm noticing that I do have a couple checks, especially with this tricky knight. I don't know if any of them are good. I do have a couple of, let's see. Oh, you know what this is? Okay. I am protecting this knight with this queen. So I can put him in check with my rook, which I do think that that's going to be a very forcing move. Now, what I'm looking at is my queen is staring down this king. So if I move, probably going to cause him some trouble. And the only check that I have with this knight, and I'm looking to put him in double check. One thing I'm noticing is the king will not have access to any of these squares. The queen's going to be staring down this. that leaves a couple of squares for him to, he can't go there. So basically it leaves these 2 squares. Can I move somewhere that takes those squares away? And I think I've got this. Move here, and then I move here. Okay. We're gonna try to get 30 more points here at least. Get up to 1100. Okay. Do I have checks? I can't move here. This bishop sees, so I think it's going to be that. And I think what has to happen here is this desperation block. Okay, white to move. Well, first thing I notice, this pawn is supporting this checking square, and this is just mate in 1. Black to move. I notice I do have a check. That would take this entire file away. King cannot come here nor here. So the king can come here, at which point I can do check. So I think the king is here at this point. He cannot go here. He has to come here. And I think that's where I deliver a check with this rook. I'm just going to go for it from this position here. So far, so good. He comes here. And then I deliver checkmate on the A8 square. Okay. How many did I just do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I did 10. That should be enough. I do want to pivot to a puzzle battle. Play against an opponent. Double check the view here. Board vision's decent. So need to make sure that I'm quick, accurate, and mindful of time. Okay. Looking for an opponent. 989. Why can't... Oh, weird. It just started. Black to move. White to move. Looking at that long diagonal. He's moving much faster than I am. What is this one? White to move. Ah. Okay, I need to not go too fast, but I need to get 4 more. So this is the winning one. Is it this? Not sure how that would be the case. No. Okay. I did win, kind of by default, because I had the same number of points. I just didn't have 3 strikes. Now I do want to go back and solve the 2 that I missed. Am I able to... Oh, just X'd out. Great. Through the power of editing, I am able to go back and solve the ones that I missed. So I think what I initially was looking for was, and I can't draw arrows here, so bear with me, was something forcing a check, and what I was initially looking at was moving this rook to h8 with the hope of pinning the king to his... Actually, that would be skewering. I'd be skewering the king and the rook. I should have gone for a much simpler approach of simply trading pieces here. And from here, I've got all the time in the world. Come around here, take, and ultimately cutting off the king, which allows me to queen my pawn. And that would be the end. Here, let's just do a quick checkmating exercise. With the queen. All right. So I'm going to set up the board and I'll be right back to you. And for this last one, again, time pressure is a crazy thing. I'm looking at the board with a lot more comfort. There's no pressure. There's no clock ticking down. There's no points. There's no bleeping and blooping. I was looking at the checks. The first one that occurred to me was here, but I kept having a hard time just realizing that this bishop was going to be captured. This move does it simultaneously, and that's simply checkmate in 1. It simultaneously checks the king while also defending my bishop. So quite simple, but at the same time, when you're in the heat of the moment, the clock is ticking down. It's a lot different than observing it from a post-battle analysis where you're like, oh, okay, just simply should have done this easy checkmate in 1. All right, well, thanks for watching if you've made it this far, and I hope you'll be back for the next one. Take care.